Brian Pearson. I'm a leader in vocal New York, Voices of Community, Active Leaders in New York. I'm here today to tell my own experience with wrongful marijuana arrest for low-level marijuana possession that I believe illustrates why the resolution we are discussing today needs to be passed. I also want to offer my support to Governor Cuomo, Assemblymember Jeffries, and Senator Grisanti in their efforts to end these arrests, which are racially biased, economically wasteful, and illegal under the 1977 New York State law. My story shows the collateral consequences of these arrests that Mayor Bloomberg and Police Commissioner Kelly have repeatedly tried to brush under the rug. Last fall, I was on parole, but my life was improving. I was up for early release. I was working on the construction of subway tunnels and on my way to getting a union position. I had moved from a three-quarter house for parolees and was renting a room in Crown Heights. On Wednesday, my cousin drove me to the train at Eastern Parkway and Utica Avenue so I could get to work for the 3 to 11 shift. Before I could exit the car, we were surrounded by officers who came out of nowhere. They claimed we fit the description of bank robbery suspects. My cousin tried to assert his right not to be searched, but we were pulled from the car and frisked anyway. The officer found the remainder of a joint about the length of a thumbnail. After searching my cousin, he said they had no right to conduct the search and argued that it was a tiny amount of marijuana. Most importantly, he told them that everything he had on him and in the car was his and asked that I be let go to go to work. They refused. All of this was a legal search in violation of our rights, but as common things for people in the African and Latino communities. I was eventually arrested and held in Central Brooklyn Tombs for about 72 hours before I finally saw a judge. When I was released, I was given another court date. In all, I had 3 court dates before the charges were dropped. For 3 days, I was in without a lawyer, forced to miss work because of the wrongful arrest. Upon release, I found out there were even further collateral damages, collateral consequences, damages. I was unable to convince my job. I was able to convince my job to keep me on, but I was set back in the competitive process to get a union book needed for the union membership. This meant that after my temporary construction work ended in the tunnels, I was left without employment or union membership. Next, I had to merely visit my parole officer so that I would not be violated and sent back to prison. Despite a negative urine test for drugs and a statement by my cousin, I was not violated. However, my early release for parole was terminated and I had to spend an additional 4 months on parole. Today I live in Woodhaven, Queens, a community with a lot of hardworking immigrants, but not a lot of African Americans and Latinos, who make up 87% of the roughly 50,000 marijuana arrests in New York City. I do not see police officers rolling up on people there like they do in Crown Heights, where I recently lived at, or any Black or Latino communities for that matter. You know, the NYPD are not trying to create safe and healthy communities for people who look like me. They are using this unjust policy to harass us, to intimidate us, and to drive us into the criminal justice system because they believe that Blacks and Latinos are likely to be criminals. While I believe that the underlying institutional and racism of New York City Department will not end with this passage of this one law, however, it will remove the #1 method they have used to criminalize an entire generation of Black and Latino men and pump them into this criminal justice system. Again, I would like to thank the Public Safety Committee for hearing my statement today.